Steve Ramsden, he's better known for remaking visual effects such as the superhero landing and his character replacement in movies. Recently he has released a course called After Effects Essentials geared to help people make visual effects just as he does. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into that course. What's in it? How much does it cost? Is there anything that could be improved? And most importantly, did I actually learn anything? So without further ado, let's dive right in and see what this course has in it. So the course is comprised of 30 videos around 5 minutes each, with a bonus video at the end where Steve details his 7 steps to planning and shooting his VFX. There's sample footage provided, so you always have something to check against. The course is also set up pretty well, so you have check marks for each chapter that you go through. It also tracks your progress in the video, so you never get lost. So the basic topics that are covered are rotoscoping, keying, masking, tracking, and just the basic tools that you'll need to make visual effects in After Effects. And I will say, in each of the videos, Steve does a really good job of explaining what's going on. So let's talk about the time investment and the costs associated with this. Sometimes it's not all money, sometimes it's how much time you have to put into it. So the course runs about 2.5 hours. The videos are around 5 minutes each, 4 to 7 minutes usually. The cost of the course is $99, and it does require a subscription or trial to Adobe After Effects. The course is set up so you can get through it in a 7-day trial, which is pretty easy to do. It'll only take about a day or two to get through all the content. So now let's talk about my impressions of the course and what they can do to improve it. What I really liked was the interface. The interface is clean, it's nice that it gets to track all your progress. Some courses don't have that. It is pretty standard in most courses, but it's nice to see it there. Every video is labeled so you know exactly what's in it, so you never get lost. And if you forget something, it's really easy to go back in these short videos and find that information that you may have forgotten, rather than slogging through an hour-long video trying to find that one piece of information that you want. And for the most part, Steve does a really good job of explaining things most of the time. So here are the things that I really didn't like about the course. There are a few instances where Steve kind of eyeballs it. So this comes into play when you're overlaying footage, you're trying to blur the background, and you're just kind of looking for what it might be. There's really no hard, concrete way to do that. There's also color correction.
Let's just try 20. There we go. I think those whites look a little warmer now, and they match the whites here in this image.
It's kind of just, does it look good? I really wish there was a way to check RGB values against the two clips, maybe get them close, have a little more reliable way to do that other than just, does it look good? There's also a part where he makes a 3D scene, and it looks pretty cartoonish, to be honest. And it really doesn't give me a great feeling that I'd be able to come up with a realistic looking 3D set in After Effects. There's also excessive branding in the course. Videos are pretty short, which is great, but there's also smaller sections that always have a transition that's branded, which I get it, you're DIY movie making, but it just gets annoying after a while.
It's a very simple way of reversing a clip.
My biggest point of contention with this course is the cost. While I don't like to speculate on what something should cost because it depends on the value to you, I do think this is overpriced. Now let me explain why, and with one caveat at the end. One of the biggest things is there's no project to go through from start to finish. I would have really liked to see a project go from bringing it in to going through all the steps to having a completed project. These are mostly random clips, and you're mostly just learning something new from video to video. The closest thing you get is around video 19, where you rotoscope someone, and in the following video you put them into a different scene, but that's about as close as you get to working on an actual project. The other things that make it hesitant to me on the pricing is the fact that there is no community yet. There is a members area, which as far as I can tell, I'm the only member right now. Lucky me! And the announcements tab seems to just be in beta right now. What I'd like to see is a Discord or a community. That really sells it to me. I also would like to see a discussion tab. There are comments that you can leave on the videos, but a lot of times if someone has the same problem, that can get lost in the comments. With a discussion tab that I've seen on other courses, at least then you can click and see what the question is, see what the answer is, and you can find an answer to your question pretty easily. I also think that given his audience are DIY movie makers, I think 100 is a little too steep, especially when you're using something like After Effects that you need a subscription to. I would like to see this around the 50 to 60 price range. This is really geared towards someone who has never used an editor before or who has never done any kind of compositing. So you may want to consider that. If you're really nervous about getting into After Effects or learning a compositor, this may be a great way for you to start. I would have rather seen it done in something like Davinci Resolve with some After Effects thrown in to see how they compare. Now obviously it's an After Effects course, but I didn't feel there was anything in it that I couldn't have gotten from one of his videos or a different video on YouTube. So my one caveat to this is Steve has said if you buy this course, you will get a discount on the upcoming course where he's going to detail his shooting process and how he's planning to make VFX videos. I think if that course is good and it comes in around $150 for the total bundle, I think that's a pretty good price point. So did I actually learn anything from this course? Yes. I did learn After Effects. I've never touched After Effects before, so I felt pretty comfortable with the interface. Again, Steve does a really good job going through this. I did go out and shoot some footage because if you can't apply what you learned, what's the point? I did some basic compositing of an explosion. I found the explosion on Production Crate, which is what they recommend in the course, and I was actually pretty impressed with what Production Crate had. There's a lot of free resources, so it's a great place to start. I did composite it in both After Effects and Davinci Resolve. I had a lot harder time using the After Effects rotoscope. It was a little bit finicky. I did get multiple layers in Davinci Resolve to kind of feather out and change the opacity so I could get that light wrap effect. So that's my review of DIY After Effects Essentials. My recommendation again is to wait until the extra course comes out and see what the pricing for the two is. Hey guys, Kyle here. Just want to let you know that Steve's been running these webinars. You have to register for them, but they'll give you info on the course. They say live stream. They're not really live streams, kind of weird. It's just a video you can play and pause. This is the live stream that I was part of when they launched it. So it goes over how he started. He goes over 7 steps, which is the bonus video in the course. And then he talks about the course itself a little bit. So if you want a little bit more information straight from the horse's mouth, you can register for one of those. If this was helpful to you at all, hit the like button. If you want to see more reviews coming up, hit the sub. And until then, bye. I love you, Resolve. It was just this one time, I promise. Never again.